Today we're gonna do a quick unboxing of the Legend suspension that we're gonna throw on the Dyna, so stay tuned. So I went with the Piggyback rear shock. I went with the heavy duty as well. So if you're riding aggressively, and also if you're 50% of the time that you're carrying a passenger, you do need the heavy duty ones. I went with the all black, the stickers, quick install. So I'm kind of like excited. Then I went with the black, with the 13-inch. I don't want to do 14 because I don't want the big old gap on the back fender. I know, I'm sure you guys are aware of that. But anyways, that's the first unboxing. I'm really excited to install this, and thanks again to Ramjet. I'm gonna link them up here for the quick shipping. Finally, I got them. Check them out. Check out the merch. Thanks to everybody at Ramjet for the quick shipping. They're dope. Check them out if you guys are looking to get motorcycle parts. So yeah, that's the rear shock. And then also I'm gonna need, it's like a jack. So I needed to get one. I bought this one from Home Depot. I wanted to get you guys going with the unboxing. So make sure you guys watch the whole rest of the video. So this is the jack for the bike. So I went with the gold decal. They also have other colors, but I wanted to match it a little bit with the bike. It sucks it doesn't come with the lower ones here, but Legends, if you guys watching, you guys can always send me one, the gold one. And I'm gonna throw on the bunking frame sliders. And then you're gonna need different spacers, so you're able to once it's locked into your bike, the swivel, it's able to move around. Now I'm gonna bring up the bike. We're gonna take off the stock shocks, and then we'll try to go from there. Stay tuned, guys. We got the gold decals. Sucks they didn't throw on the bottom part where it says Legend. That would have been sick, matching with the gold, but oh well. So I'm saying, if Legend's watching this, send your boy the rest of it, or Gucci. Alright, so we're gonna take that off, put up the bike, jack it up, and then take off it's only 2 screws on each side. So let's do it, see if we can get it done in one day. Alright, so you wanna make some room. We're gonna take off the seat, sissy bar, and the bags. Let's do that really quick. So now that we got room to work with, we're gonna start on one side with the jack first. Alright, so now that we jacked up the rear the swing arm, now we're gonna start by taking off the bolts here. So what we're gonna do is loosen up the rear shock, back screw here. And since we're running a longer screw for the top, since we're using the frame slider, we're gonna use what comes in here. And also another thing, I'm gonna be putting them facing out instead of facing in, because I am gonna be running bags and I don't want them to be touching. You want it clear of space. You don't want the bags to be hitting inside. So we are gonna be running them facing out. So for the bottom screw, you're using a T50. And then for the top screw, you're gonna be using 3 1/4. All right, back to the video. We got it. Put some WD-40 to help you out. It's really locked in there with the Loctite. So we take it out. You have your stock shock out. Just keep all the parts together in case you need washers or whatever. So this thing's completely different. I think we're gonna have to remove this one and put spacers on it. So that's, you're gonna be using the stud if you're not gonna run the bunking frame sliders. All right, so we finally did get our stock stud out. It was really tight because of the Loctite. So this is only if you're running the bunking slider, frame slider. If you're not, then you're still gonna keep the stud just to run your shock. Looks like it's these two right here. So I bought this separate from Legends because they told me I was gonna need them, but they also sent me a picture of what to use. So that's why I'm going spaced out of the picture. So it shows you the picture there. Bunkings, washer, and a smaller washer there, or spacer, whatever you want to call it. So I'm guessing this one, the one that I bought separately, and then a smaller one. And then you want to put your shock, your rear shock. So let's do that. What Legends wants, in order to not void the warranty, you need the right spacers in case they mess up. They don't want any big washer, or because you want the shock to freely move around. If you can see that movement, you want that freely to move, you know, when you're on the road. But yeah, so that looks like it's working good there. So now we're gonna put the other two spacers on the back, and then we're gonna go ahead and install it. Two spacers. So we got that. And then come up here. And then you put your washer in there. And then you put your nut. You're gonna want to put some Loctite. I'll double check if you guys need the red Loctite, the stronger one, but let me get this in there. So in order to get some leverage, you gotta loosen up both of the bottom bolts on the stock side. You see what happened? So now that we got this side, now we can go ahead and take off the other side and then bring it back up to align it. So that's what we gotta do. All right, so for this part, in order to put in the last bolt from the bottom, you want to loosen up the other side of the shock. You want to take off the stock bolt, then we raise the bike back up. So you are going to be using your 5/8 spacer that comes with the Legends, so which is this one, and you want to throw on 1/8 spacer. I would call this a washer. So this right here goes through with the washer.
Oh, you didn't put it.
And then on the back, you need your 5/8. That looks sick. And you guys can see the gap. This is a 13-inch shock. It's gonna have a little gap. Give it out to the sponsors. Crickets, there's no sponsors, just us. Towel your hand. Also, when you fully tight it down, you want to make sure you get this type of play. I don't know if that the camera's picking it up. So yesterday, if you guys were able to see, we did take off the bottom bolt. So in order to drop down the swing arm, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the stock shock there. on. Don't mind the shoelace here. I was holding up the belt guard here. So now that I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it. Might as well. Alright, welcome back. Same vlog, different day. We got one side on. Check it out. We still gotta adjust it with the sag and everything, but I just want to show you guys how the spacers go with if you're gonna be running the bunking frame slider or sliders. So we're gonna move on to the other side. We're already nice and torqued. You grab your shock. We'll do the top first. So this is what comes with the bunking slider, frame slider here. The washer and the nut goes on the back or on the inside of the bike here. Your frame of the bike. So first you want to grab your spacers. Obviously I'm already down to 2. You got the spacers that you get from Legends. If you're gonna be running the bunkings, they recommend to use their spacers that they have if you're going to be running the bunkings. So what you do, put your spacer and then you put your washer. So pretty much the same thing that we did on the other side. You're going to do it here. Then you run your shock like that. And then on the other side, this side here, you go with the bigger side first, then the smaller spacer. After that, it should look like this. So the spacers are so you can give enough wiggle room so the bearing can move on there. So that you run it through. And you see how long the bolt is. So you grab your washer on the back, and you put some Loctite. And you tighten it with your hand. Or just kind of like leave it like that for now, so you can go ahead and put the bottom part. So for the bottom, we're gonna need your stock bolt goes through, and your spacer. These are the spacers that you buy when you get the bunkings frame sliders. So they recommend to buy some special spacers. That's what they told me, but then you put some Loctite. Okay, we can tie this one down. You're gonna get 3 1/4 wrench, and your T50. Then you want to torque it down. So we move on to the top here. This one is 3/8. Yeah. And then I believe should be a 3 1/4 wrench up here. There it is. All right, so we found a small issue. Since we have, when you order the bunkings, frame sliders it's called, it comes with these 2 washers. When you order the Legends Revo Arc Piggyback, it comes with another set of spacers, not washers. And then Legends recommends, if you're going to be running the bunkings, I know I've been saying this throughout the video, but they also recommend another set of spacers. So I bought them all and I did it how it was supposed to go, and I was noticing that it's not giving me that 10-degree pivot. So I took out the bolt. All it needs is a spacer, if the camera's picking it up, to give it that pivot movement. That's what you want when you're installing the bunking frame sliders. So we're gonna go ahead and try it out, putting a smaller spacer there with these two on the side, and see if that works. Alright, so off the back I already can tell, look. I added that one washer, and off the back, this is what you need, your 10-degree pivot. So after I install this one, the other side's gonna need it as well. Alright, so again, this is only for if you're running the bunkings. It comes with the big old spacers. And so for the shock it won't get stuck, because you want this type of movement. You would want to run one of these spacers or washers, small one, that Legends sell separately if you're running the kit here, the frame slider kit. So as you guys can see, if it's picking it up, it's a small washer. Then you put your other two big spacers on there. So what you want the shock to move freely like this, a 10-degree pivot. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo the other side, because I was feeling like something was off, and we're gonna go ahead and redo the other side and put that spacer on there. So that's gonna be it for today's install on the Legends Revo Arc Piggyback Heavy Duty on the size 13. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.